Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make a landing page like this, and we're going to add 3D models to our website and we'll render them in our browser. So for that we're going to use different JavaScript libraries which are out there. To be specific, we are going to use Three.js and AOS library, which is animate on scroll library, which will animate our objects when we scroll through the page. So let's get started, and I hope you guys will enjoy this video. So first thing first, let's make a new folder on our desktop. That is new folder. Click on this folder and we'll name the folder as Three.js, which is basically the library which are using here. So let's open our Visual Studio Code, and I will add the project folder here with the help of open folder, and I will go to my desktop and I will select this Three.js Apple folder here. Perfect, and I'll select this folder. So yep, and I will cancel this welcome tab. And right now Three.js Apple folder is empty, right? So we haven't made anything inside that. So let's make a new file inside it, that is index.html, and we'll hit enter. And another file will be styles.css, which will be used for styling our index.html document for all those cards and all of that shit. So you are inside this index.html. I will simply write HTML. Okay, what the fuck, I got this HTML tag. I will simply write HTML and I'll select the second one, and now it's perfect. Actually I am familiar with the Atom text editor, so it has some difference compared to the Atom text editor. So I'll save it. Perfect. Okay, so let's go inside our head tag and just change this title. I will delete this document. Okay, so let's write hey inside this title here, and perfect, and let's hit enter. So now I will link my CSS style sheet file here, which is styles.css. Let's make it styles and not stles. Perfect. So okay, so now let's hit enter again. Okay, let's go above and let's add another link tag here, and this time the href will be a font awesome CDN, which is gonna like extract all the fonts from the font awesome. Is basically used for the icons, I think. Yes, it's used for the icons, so it is gonna like extract all the icons from the font awesome site. That is what CDN is used for. So we got this another link tag here, and I will simply paste aos.css, which is animate on scroll library, which is gonna animate our objects when we scroll through our page. So it's perfect, I think. So simply let's go to our body tag. Also I'm using HTML here because React is not used by everybody and HTML is like known by everybody, so it's like simpler. So we have added a div here which is class navbar, and this will be the final output which I shown in the beginning of the video. So I will mark this and will show what we're gonna make. So firstly we're gonna make this navbar here, which has Apple logo, some different navbar items, this font awesome icons which are on the right. So and this will be the second part, which will be totally based on Three.js library, which is gonna render our component, that is Apple model here, and we will get some text here for making it look better. So let's select this. Okay, let's select this gray. What the fuck, I'm confused as fuck. Let's select this blue. Okay, what the hell, man, what am I doing? I need to get familiar with this. Okay, so I will just do it, and so we'll get this model here. So everything is like parent child, like we do in React. If you don't know React, I have tutorials on that. Check out my playlist, you will get to know React and all of that shit, and it's perfect, right? So let's cancel this and let's go to our Visual Studio Code, and let's go inside the navbar first. And let's add span tags. Span tags are basically used for adding some text, which are text or anything you can say, and which are display inline. So I will copy it and I'll paste it for n number of times for all the items here. I think this much is enough. Let's keep it like this, and the first item will be Apple logo here. For that we're using Font Awesome, which is FAB-FA-Apple. This is basically extracting the Font Awesome icons with the help of the Font Awesome CDN, which I told you earlier. So firstly, let's draw this neighbor, and I'll try to explain you what we are like using in this neighbor here. So firstly, this is neighbor, and let's differentiate between all the items. So this is gonna be the first item here, which is something that is made up of Font Awesome. Let's choose the color, and this all of this gonna be the text, which is span tag. And again, let's choose the red color. Okay, let's choose this red color, not pink, and let's make it rectangle again, cause using this red color, cause all three icons are extracted from the same CDN, you can say, that is Font Awesome CDN. And okay, perfect. So now you can imagine how you're gonna make this neighbor. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you guys. So we're inside this neighbor, and the first item is already inserted, that is FAB-FA-Apple. So let's go and let's add some text, that is Mac and iPhone. Let's keep it iPad first, and then we'll keep it iPhone. So now let's add watch. Okay, and let's add TV here and music, and the last text will be support, I think. Okay, perfect. This one is gonna have Font Awesome icons here. So I'm simply gonna paste the icons here, FAS-FA-search. If you don't know how to do this, I have an HTML playlist where I have used many Font Awesome icons. You can watch all of that, and you can just become a professional in all of this. I think it is actually really easy, that you don't need to practice all this. You can just practice this all while making some projects. Okay, so let's add a new div here, and I will add a dot for adding the class names. So div.box underscore, I will add 2 underscore, but we will consider that a single underscore. Div.box underscore Apple, and I will simply hit enter. So we are inside this box underscore Apple. So I will simply add h1 and h1.apple. So the text which you're gonna display is Apple name, which is Apple brand name. It will be in all caps. So before doing the further stuff, let me show you how we're gonna divide this Apple container here. So let's go to the output, and firstly let's draw a rectangle. I will select this yellow color. Okay, what the fuck, I'll select this rectangle, and I'll draw this rectangle here. So this is the main container, which is Apple underscore container. So inside that we're gonna have a single container, that is single text here, which is h1, I think, which was Apple brand name. And then we're gonna have iPhone, and then we're gonna have it's a leap year. So it is that simple. So let's cancel this, and okay, let's go to Visual Studio Code, minimize this, and okay, let's add h4 here, h4 and then iPhone, and let's hit enter. And it's a leap year for the para tag, as I told you earlier, it's a leap year, which is 2020, right? So we're making this video in 2020, so it's a leap year, and it's a full stop at the end. You can just keep it like that, or you can just add a space in between. So let's add another div which has class box, and now let's say, and which is something I will make you understand that later. So first thing what I'm gonna do is gonna paste a file here, which is the model file, not model file. I'll paste some JavaScript files here, which is from the Three.js. You can get this easily from the internet by searching Three.js GitHub or something like that. You can get this whole list of files, or I will just add a link in the description box. You can comment down below. I will be more than happy to add the link. And this is all the files here, that is 3.men.js, orbit controls for controlling the model of the iPhone, and we got the gltf loader which is gonna load the files which has .gltf extension. gltf is something which is used for making a 3D model or something like that. And let's hit enter, and I will paste some script which are source, that is simple, and that is linking all these files here, that is orbit controls.js and gltf loader.js. And let's add another script here which is and inside the script tag, let's just do all the model coding. Inside this we'll do the model thing here. So I will just minimize this with the help of the scroll bar. Just erase this shit, man. Okay, perfect. So let's select this red color. Okay, let's select this yellow, and what the hell, I need to get better at this. So now, yes, this yellow, and all that thing will be done inside the script tag here. So we're inside the script tag, and the first thing which you're going to write is var scene. Scene is something which is the black background, you can say. Scene is the whole thing which is going to occupy 100 view height, or you can say 100 view height, 100 view width, and equal to new 3.scene. 3 is something the name of the library, and we are accessing its property, you can say 3.scene. And okay, var scene, and we are storing that in a variable which is var scene is equal to new 3.scene, and it is all coming from the 3.min.js file which we inserted in our 3js Apple project folder. So okay, so we got this. This is the final output, right? We're gonna make this, we are gonna replicate this, right? So this is completely responsive, you can see. Let's add a var here which is var camera. Camera is something which is gonna like have an eye on the model, like this. You are in a real world and you're looking at an object which just performs its activity, and you can see all the three sides of that. So 3.perspective camera, and we're adding the parameters here, so window dot inner width, you can say, and divided by window dot inner height, which is setting up the perspective camera here, which is of 3.min.js file. And as I said you, I will just link the files, all the files. And okay, so let's add a comma, and let's simply add 1 and another 1000, which is the distance basically, you can say. And okay, let's go left, and let's hit enter. And now I will try to add something which is variable renderer, which is gonna render all the objects. So it's equal to variable renderer is equals to new 3.webgl renderer, which is gonna like render all the things on the web browser. Got this WebGL renderer and semicolon, perfect. And so here is the renderer, and it is the WebGL renderer. So we are adding renderer.set size here, which is window dot inner width, comma window dot inner height. So setting the size of the renderer to the window dot inner width and the window dot inner height. Call, we are making this thing completely responsive, as I showed you by minimizing and maximizing a browser window. So now we're gonna write document.append child, document.body.append child, like appending this renderer to the body here, dot append child, and we're gonna pass the parameter as renderer. So we are appending the renderer document, which is the body tag, you can say, and this is basically body, you can say, and renderer.dom element, which is document object model element. Perfect. So now let's go down. Okay, so there is the document.body.append child. If you didn't understand this, just make sure you do, because this is the main stuff here. All the scene, camera, renderer, that is the basic thing which you need to understand before starting working with 3JS. So let's hit enter and let's add a window dot add event listener, and the event listener will be of type resize. When the window size is resized, we are gonna like activate a function, or you can say something like that. Gonna add a resize and it is gonna be a function. You can use add a function too. We're gonna making a function here which is variable width is equals to window dot inner width and add a semicolon, and variable height is equals to, make this height is equals to window dot inner height. So we are storing the window dot inner width inside width, and we are storing the window dot inner height inside height. So it is gonna be, and make sure this is variable, you don't make it constant because constant value remains same. So let's add renderer dot set size, you can say renderer dot set size, and here it is gonna be width comma height and semicolon. Perfect. So we got this resize function which is gonna work when the window is resized or something like that, because we're changing the width and the height of the window. Because when we change the height and width of the window, the add event listener is gonna listen to that function, that all the everything that is height and width is gonna change. You can simply say that. And camera dot expect is equals to width comma height, width divided by height, and camera dot update projection matrix and semicolon. Perfect. So everything is set here. The scene is set, the camera is set, the renderer is set. So I'll add a semicolon after this function. And update projection matrix is gonna like update the projection matrix where the object is projected on the scene. It will be updated with the help of the update projection matrix. Perfect. Let's add controls here. Controls is equal to new 3.orbit controls. Orbit controls is something which is gonna like work on all the axes, you can say x, y and z axis. You can rotate the objects in x, y and z axis and all the three directions, you can say simply. And let's add a parameters as camera. Passing the parameter as camera, which is 3 perspective camera, which is with the help of the 3.men.js file, as I told you earlier, and renderer.dom element, right? So we're going to pass the another element which is renderer.dom element, which is appended to the body right now. So let's hit enter and let's add another variable which is loader. Loader is something which is going to help to load our 3D model inside the project. Where loader is equal to new 3.gltf loader. gltf is an extension of a file. New 3.gltf loader and a semicolon. 3.gltf is gonna load the file, and it is gonna happen with the help of gltf loader.js, which I'm gonna link in the description. That file I'm gonna link in the description. So I'll paste the 3D model here. I will try to paste this too, but that is, I think it has got a size of 66 MB. Okay, perfect. I will try to do that too. And it is a something you can see a 3D Apple model. So now let's see how we can add this. So we are declaring a variable which is scene2. That was scene1. Now it is scene2, right? So variable loader is equal to loader.load. Loader is something which is a gltf loader. With the help of the gltf loader, we are going to load a file which is inside our directory, which is scene2.gltf. Let's cancel this. Let's cancel this too. Okay. Scene2.gltf is an Apple iPhone model. Add a comma, add a function which is gltf. Inside that we're going to write our code where scene.add. Scene is basically the main scene here, which is the whole screen, and scene.add gltf.scene. So we are adding that scene.add gltf.scene. Perfect. this is the scene here. And okay, so let's go to our Opera browser and I'll try to make you understand this components here. So this is what we're making right now, this whole thing here. And this is the first scene, which is basically the first scene one, you can say. And yeah, just assume it as a perfect circle eclipse, you can say. I don't even remember what it is called. This is the second scene, right? And that was the first scene. Second scene is embedded inside the first scene, so we are adding the scene to inside the first scene. Perfect, right? And I will add some arrows so it will be easier for you to understand. And okay, so let's go to our Visual Studio Code. And okay, so let's add a variable here, which is var model. Model is something which we talked about, which is the iPhone model. Var model is equal to gltf.scene. We're making that gltf.scene stored in a single variable, which is model, and we are using if it is undefined. If it is undefined, we're gonna add a function which has parameters as error. We are simply going to do console.log error. Perfect. Let's hit enter and let's add camera. We are setting the position of our camera, which is really important, and camera.position on the z axis, which is basically is going to decide how far we are from the model, which is 3. Okay, so this is the x-axis. I'm drawing all the axes with help of this marker here. So red one is x-axis, yellow is y, and green is z. So green is gonna decide how far we are from the model. So green is something which is important to us right now. So we are setting the camera.position.z is equals to 3. Perfect. What the fuck am I doing? It actually makes me really excited when I use the screen marker tool. So okay, let me cancel this first. And comment down in the comment section if you like this way of explanation, like marking all of that stuff and explaining that, because I think it really makes it easy. And let's add a variable ambient light. Ambient light is something which is going to add lightning to our model so that the model is visible, because we obviously need some light in real life, right? And 3D is something which is completely based on 3D real life, you can say. Not 3D, how can 3D be based on 3D? It is based on real life. So 3.ambient light, ambient light is a type of light. There are different type of lights in 3.js, which has a color of F, and phi something kind of opacity or the darkness or the brightness, you can say. So let's add a scene here, scene.add, and inside the scene.add we're gonna add this ambient light. So we're adding the ambient light to our scene. So this is the ambient light here, and let's hit enter and let's add a variable here, which is variable is update. The name of the variable is update. Variable update is equals to function. So var update function, and okay, so let's hit some space. Okay, let's delete this. I don't think we need that, right? Because we aren't doing any rotation or something of the 3D model, so we really don't need that. Let's add a variable of a variable rendered instead of that, and it is going to trigger a function. So the function is going to have renderer dot render, gonna render the scene and the camera. Perfect, the scene and the camera, and scene.add ambient light. So it is something you can say hierarchy like structure. While you're using 3.js, you're adding something inside something. So variable game loop. Game loop is something which updates the whole scene in a particular second, you can say. There's a function request animation frames. Okay, and the brackets, and the parameters will be game loop. So we're going to add update, which is going to update everything, and you're going to add render, which is going to render everything. We have added this game loop here. So I will see you in the next video with the further part. That video will be really amazing because it is going to have all the cards there, all the Apple Watches, everything, the AOS library, the 3GS library, everything will be rendered perfectly. So I'll see you in the next video with more amazing content. Till then, bye bye, take care. Also make sure to like, share and subscribe my channel, which I have started telling that to you guys because you really don't subscribe my channel. I'm really stuck under 1K subscribers. So I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.